You very much. And Republicans did try to make an appeal to suburban women, warning them that no family is safe. They chose Mark and Patricia McCloskey to deliver that message. The couple that is facing felony charges for waving their guns at Black Lives Matter activists marching past their multi-million-dollar mansion, which, by the way, is in St. Louis proper, not the suburbs.
They're not satisfied with spreading the chaos and violence into our communities. They want to abolish the suburbs altogether by ending single-family home zoning. This forced rezoning would bring crime, lawlessness, and low-quality apartments into now thriving suburban neighborhoods. So make no mistake, no matter where you live, your family will not be safe in the radical Democrats' America.
The poor people are coming to get you. Well, we traveled to Union County, North Carolina, just outside of Charlotte, to see who was hearing that message and whether it was resonating. President Trump won Union County by a 2-to-1 margin in 2016, and that is where we find Chris Jansing down there in Monroe, North Carolina. So, Chris, my question is, if Donald Trump won this county by so much, are the voters there on the fence about him this time? Was that a message that is going to sway them or bring them back to Donald Trump?
I spent hours yesterday, Katie, talking to suburban women. They definitely, the Republicans, continue to see the world through the lens of Donald Trump. They don't always like, they say, what he says, but they like what he's done, everything from abortion to immigration, while Democrats, they say, try to demonize them. Here's a little bit of my conversation. 3 Republicans, 1 Democrat. Take a listen.
Speaking for white America, we're not bad people. We are very angry that African Americans and the Black American community has been marginalized, victimized. So what happens is, it's like, if you align yourself with Donald Trump, you're a racist.
I've tried to have these conversations and was just force-fed that I was wrong just because I was a white woman and I was a Trump supporter.
We are suddenly all bad. And so I think where white America feels frustrated makes us want to vote for Trump. So it's kind of backfiring.
He wants to reinstate the United States back to where it should be.
I don't know which America you are seeking. Is it 20 years ago? Is it 10 years ago? Is it the 1940s, the 1950s, the 1960s? We were discriminated against. We were vilified. We do not want to go back to that. However, going back to a country that believes in the democracy, that's the country that we want to see.
Katie, there was such an intensity to this conversation, both sides saying that they believe democracy is at stake, but obviously their view of what that means is very different. They did decide that they want to get back together, continue the conversation. Part of that conversation may be about what you see behind me, this 40-foot obelisk. It is a monument to Confederate soldiers. It's been standing there since 1910. There has been a call, including a petition, for it to come down. We'll see what happens there, but I happened to run into Althea. She lives or works just down the block from here, and I said, what goes through your mind when you see that day after day? And she said, quite simply, Katie, it's very upsetting.
Well, Chris, I guess my question is, were those women already going to vote for Donald Trump? Was he appealing to somebody that he needed to bring back into the fold to win the election? Was he broadening his message, or was this just red meat for those who are already into him?
This is exactly what Phil was talking about. This is his base. This is the core supporters. They've never left him. They have never believed in anything but the gospel according to Donald Trump. And again, they feel like he's delivered, that he's going to continue to deliver. If they fear anything, they fear a presidency by Joe Biden. But what we know is he can't afford slippage in places like this, right? Maybe you could make the argument that he could possibly win without his, getting totally his base or beyond his base. But he has to have his base. We know he has to have his base. Yeah. And at least from what we have seen here, it's not slipping.
That is an important thing to note. He needs his base. He won by such a small margin in some key areas that if Democrats are able to turn out just a few more voters in some of the counties that they lost, get enthusiasm among Democrats there, Donald Trump is going to need more than just his base. Remember, the margins were very slim. Chris Jansen, Chris, thank you so much.